Christ like I was screaming at the just like life like I love a white fight, feeling like a sight fight.
All right.
So that's the
All
that's
right.
the theme song to MAGA Country / Blexit by your boy
Yeah, boy.
from Chicago, Kanye West. Kanye West is MAGA. I mean, I know a lot of you know that, but some people are still in denial. Okay? So.
That song introduced at least 2 people.
Yeah, they were playing Kanye music in between the Blexit speakers. So, this is like part 2, I want to say, of our time going to this Blexit event.
And did we tell you that Candice is married to the Brexit? Blexit?
Right! I forgot to mention that in the previous video. Yeah.
And he does Turning Point UK. Turning Point USA, Turning Point UK.
George Farmer.
It's a little power conflation happening.
Sleep on it if you wanna. But you'll be crying.
Are you gonna share the wedding video?
Yes. I'm gonna do my best to put. It was this wedding video that they showed at the end of Blexit. It's unlike anything I've seen. I mean, you're onto something.
Ralph was like, that wouldn't look fun.
It did. That wedding, that reception looked litty.
It was litty.
Yeah, it was. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the values that they are spouting and really into at Blexit. Abortion.
Ooh, boy.
I found this very fascinating. So, so Candace Owens, this is her event, this is her organization, her movement and everything. She was the only black woman to speak and only woman to speak. Everybody else that spoke, they were black men. So what we noticed is, so you either had maybe like a black man who was a Marine, who went to college, you know, upstanding to society, or you had a black man who maybe came from a poor background, had some run-ins with the prison or, you know, criminal justice, mass incarceration, and they had little education, like a 8th, 9th grade education.
So you had Marines or cops.
Marines, cops, educated on one side, you know, black men,
right.
Older, you know.
Yeah.
And then you had...
Undereducated in the system.
Yeah. Those were the speakers.
Yeah.
In between, they're playing Kanye. And then Candace spoke at the beginning and then at the end of the video.
Oh, and the videos where they showed sort of civil rights.
Oh, man. I'll post some of those too.
It starts with, not even civil rights, it starts with like the Klan, these pictures, and then like civil rights, the hoses, the dogs, the whole
Candy at the lunch counter.
Then that goes to
the 80s.
Black prosperity. Black people working. Black families.
Dancing in the kitchen, in the 1980s.
Upward mobility.
In a suit, standing, outside of their new car, the suburbs.
With their children and their wives.
Right, children and their wives.
And then Candace.
Yes.
Oh, so Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And Rosa Parks. Are heavily featured.
The visuals were crazy. And when I say crazy, I mean like in a very like colorful, theatric, impactful way. So pretty much what they're saying is Black people are Americans, which we are, and you have access to the American dream, which we do.
And they also made that right about civil rights. How Black people have a very specific history and relationship to America. And so they're saying other groups glomming onto civil rights, which is an argument I've heard.
Yes. So they're really kind of playing this game with this, I don't know if you would say like a double consciousness as a Black person in America or what, how I don't know how you would say it, but it's like they're playing on this idea of you all are Americans and you aren't victims.
Yeah.
and you have all this opportunity and prosperity at your fingertips. And they started bringing in these speakers who could support that. So let me take it back to abortion. So they brought this young man on. His name is...
He's a comedian. Terrence?
Yeah. Terrence K. Williams.
And the guy who cried, too.
This is what I was doing for you all on Sunday. Taking these notes, going into these spaces, so we can know what the heck is going on to make Trump a one-term president. And it looks like it's going to be tough, especially based on what the Democrats are doing. So, Terrence K. Williams, they brought him on. He was talking about trauma, not being anyone's victim, how the world doesn't owe him and the world doesn't owe you.
He was like, this white man Bob don't owe you nothing.
No
His
excuses.
wife Nancy don't owe you nothing.
He's like, get your own.
Yeah, he's like, when he goes, do you know who owes you?
You. Yeah. And then
I did enjoy that part.
Yeah. And then it was so, he's like, you can go from the bottom to the top. And he's like, I got an 8th grade education and then I'm up in the White House. He's like, that's America. I mean.
Oh, and then he's like, my mom had 9 kids.
With 7 different fathers.
But he was raised in foster care. However many fathers. And they told her she should have aborted me. He was like, why kill me? Because she can't feed me. There are people who are willing to feed me. Yeah, he's like... That's the way he delivered the message. Yeah, so it was just very interesting because it's like you have these people who... It's just, you gotta like get out of your bubble and get out of your own pathologies and beliefs and all of that. But here you have this man who pretty much, was being born into a situation where it sounds like it was poverty and oppression and this and that. And he was born anyway, and then now he is excelling. And so pretty much what he's saying, he's like, I am against abortion because if abortion, if my mom had aborted me, I wouldn't even be here today. Right. Something very powerful and compelling to those stories. I mean, I am pro-choice. She's pro-choice. But the point is, it's like this beating the odds or something. Beating the odds and surviving and making your way. But I also want to say, like, I have not had an abortion. No, I mean, not a judgment, but I'm just glad I haven't gone through that because I don't think I don't know if that would go well for me. But I don't want to take someone else's choice. Right. Like, that's my choice. Yeah. But I don't want to take someone else's choice. Yeah. But it was interesting to hear someone, because, you often hear, like, well, why do women have abortions? And, there could be a lot of different reasons. Yeah, but to hear from someone who probably was part of a statistic or a group that if you were going to have an abortion, maybe this would have been your kid. The kid to have an abortion on, because he was born into this poverty and he was the 9th child or, and this and that. And his mom wasn't able to take care of him. That might be, like a good prospect. I don't know. I mean, you all are following me, hopefully. We're all adults here. So that was interesting. But there were stories like that, a couple of stories like that. Because it's also this idea, like, the system wants you to have more kids, so you might think, like, well, maybe if I don't have this kid. It's a lot of mixed messages, I feel like. So, yeah. And then each person's story who's with Blexit that I've noticed, and even some Black Republicans who we met a couple of weeks ago at this Trump, a summit that Trump attended. It wasn't his summit. There are these themes about divorce, family separation, divorce, family separation, people not having a father in the home or not having a father, addiction, poverty. And giving your life to Christ. And giving your life to Christ, Jesus Christ. The cherry on top. Yes. Something about this, it's appealing to young Black men. It's true. Trump does not need the majority of young Black men to win. He just needs a sliver. Dems need as many Black people as they can get to turn out to vote. They need like 90% of Black people who are willing to vote. They need like all of them. Yeah.
So then there was a man that came on, King Face. King Face was all about accountability. He had an 8th grade education.
Ex-gang member?
I believe so.
Brooklyn?
Mm-hmm. He kept saying,
his words,
quote, I'm looking in here, my notes.
I'm telling you guys, she's like,
He's like, I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be here. He's like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. That is what Trump represents to people. If you go back and listen to what Kanye was saying a year or two ago, and it's the same, it's a mentality. It's like that hustle mentality that, you know, hustle, beating the system, all odds against you kind of mentality that you can do whatever you want. So that is what Trump is tapping into, and that is what Candice is tapping into as well.
And it's also the model of the successful immigrant.
That's true. Yes.
The model immigrant, you know. Like, I read an article that said, like, immigrants from, like, China and India, their kids are going to be more wealthy than, you know, the parent, which is not a trend for Americans.
No.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. And then it's just, so then this leads to this idea about, with Democrats, about victimization and victim narratives. So, you know, just like with the last few years or so, it's two things that have been happening. It's like there's more of an awareness regarding race and racism and oppression and supremacy and these systems.
And identities. Identities want to be recognized. You know?
All of that. So you have that. But then on the flip side of things, you have people who aren't as connected to these identities. And they're like, in a sense, would you say like...
Or they're connected to one identity.
Yeah.
American.
Yes. Yes.
They're not so much connected to the race identity or the gender identity or the sexuality or identity, or even class, education, any of that.
It's American.
American.
And then it's also God. That is what, I mean...
Those are the two identities.
It's God, like if you can get into that, you can be part of MAGA, you can be part of Blexit. MAGA is not all racist. A lot of black people
can get into that.
You said what?
A lot of black people can get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's not a total stretch.
And it's like when you look at... It's like as there's this awareness about racism and you know these structures and supremacy and things like that, it's like on the flip there's people who are like, okay, I've known that exists, but I'm transcending and I'm going beyond that and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. And
that is what Trump is tapping into. The Dems are not, you know. To me, Biden gets the closest. Because he talks about America being an idea and being
what do you think the Dem message is overall about that in regards to like
the Dems are all over the place? That's the whole thing. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's like being pulled, you know, each arm and leg, you're being pulled in all these directions. But what I was going to say is like Biden is still talking about America is an idea.
Yes.
It's an idea and you can do so many things in this country. Mm-hmm. And it is true.
It's true.
Go to another country. I've lived in another country as well as Kimi, whether, you know, short or long time. I want you to go to another country and start a business and make millions of dollars.
Good luck.
Good luck. I mean, there's people in Italy who can't even own their own land, you know, in their own country. You know, I want you to go to another country, get a loan, start a business, you know, make millions, run for office.
Get a loan.
Become a citizen.
Get a loan. Yeah.
You know, these are the things that make the United States the United States. So there's this whole thing around victim.
I was trying to do that.
Who?
Do I? But then there's a catch where
there's going to be a catch.
You got to spend all your cash here.
Yeah.
You can't take nothing back. But that's another story for another time.
We looked into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Elitism. Let me tell you what the Democrats will lose on. Socialism, elitism, immigration, reparations. those are losing approaches and losing issues, okay? There are people who didn't go to college, didn't go to grad school. They don't care about you going to college or their kids going to college. They're not trying to pay for your college debt or your law school debt or your master's, debt or whatever. They may not even be telling their kids to go to college, especially in this social media world and this influencer world and the internet. Like, you can have an 8th grader making 6-7 figures doing makeup tutorials on social media at age 9. And you're going to be talking about, no, we want you to go to, college, no, that is not a priority to a lot of people. And a lot of people don't want handouts. All this, I don't want to go into, I don't want to bash the Dems.
Some people see schools as indoctrination schools.
Yes.
That was really...
Yeah. And then this elitism.
It's not about bashing them, though, but you got to see how other people are perceiving
and seeing things.
And I do feel like it's not like the Democratic Party is without any fault. I mean, there's sure enough cleanup that could happen.
Yeah.
I'm a Democrat, true blue. I've never voted for another party. That's just who I am right now. I'm not voting for Trump. That's just not going to happen. Sorry. But I also can see that, no one is beyond reproach.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. It's when people start... oh, my God. I'm, looking at my notebook. It's black babies killed. Okay.
Oh, about the guy.
Yeah.
It was so annoying to me. What was his name?
This is still... Oh, this is King Face.
No. It was before Terrence.
Oh, yeah, this guy.
Black babies killed, though, was a very common theme that came up a lot.
David J. Harris Jr.
He came out crying. Apparently, he did a video where he's I was blubberfaced because of 40 million black babies killed. Well, I shouldn't make fun of that, but it was just very
fit man. I just want to add,
super fit.
It's a vibe. It felt
so manipulative in this kind of fake cry.
He was the worst speaker.
Babies. It's I don't know. It felt so disingenuous, but that was a real... Oh, he goes, how many of you are on all 4 social media platforms?
I was just going to say that.
Raise your hand. And of course, not a lot of people did at all.
Yeah.
He goes, well, you need to be.
Yeah.
And you need to be sharing our videos and spreading the word about Blexit. You need to be writing that
Writing your books.
Writing that song. He did a prayer about it.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, let's pray.
Yeah.
Daddy God.
Oh, yeah, he kept being Daddy God.
Daddy, Papa God.
Papa God. It's a paternal...
It's a paternal thing. That theme came up a lot.
Oh.
Because they're dealing with these people.
Yes. Who did not grow up.
Black people.
And look.
Who do not grow up with fathers in the home.
Yes.
And who are seeking a paternal figure.
Yes.
They say that point blank.
It's not a hidden thing.
It's not a hidden thing.
And
Everybody
then Candice
knows
was this blew my mind. Candice was and we had all these shows of black families and, showing black families and black people doing respectable, wonderful things. Family Matters.
Stefan was cute.
Yeah. Talking about, because there was a gap. And then she's and then all of a sudden, all those images went away. And then what were we replaced with?
Love and hip hop.
Love and hip hop.
Hip hop
babies,
culture,
mamas, housewives. Culture, everyone. And then she made the point where she says, and she's not taking her out of the equation because something happened with her parents.
Her parents are on drugs.
Yeah, her parents are on drugs. So her grandparents raised her. Her southern grandparents out of North Carolina raised her.
No, Connecticut.
Well,
but they were in the South?
Yeah, her grandfather bought the land.
Right, North Carolina. That's right.
Bought the land
She's right.
where he was a sharecropper.
Yeah.
He was there.
And she's like,
he
you're
stood
gonna
up.
tell me I'm oppressed? Ooh,
Yeah. She's like, you're gonna
child.
tell me I'm oppressed? My granddad, you know, like, he grew up in real
She said
oppressed
when
times.
there was a real KKK, you know what he said? We shoot back at them, boy.
Yeah.
That just made me laugh because that sounds like my grandmother would say.
It's a different mentality. And she said, she's like, and then you got, you know, in Black African American culture, you know, you got these images of positive images that were taken away of Black families, and Black families eroding, you know, for a variety of reasons, for systematic reasons.
Yes.
Like, she's not saying that these things don't exist.
The Moynihan Report.
The Moynihan Report. I mean, and then she says, and then what do people do? They look to our entertainers. They look to our actors. They think Beyonce and Jay-Z are their parents.
And Jay-Z has a line in a song where he says, they call me, like online, they call me dad kiddingly, but you're not supposed to take this thing seriously. Like, even he's kind of like, I'm not really your dad, though.
Yeah, culture. Paternal list. I mean, they're tapping
That's
into
like,
something.
Look, you guys.
Just like...
Don't
sleep on them.
Just use your critical thinking. Don't just shut down an idea because you don't like it or it's uncomfortable, but think critically about it.
Think about it.
Really examine the ideas.
America is well, I don't want to say the whole thing, but there's a flow of misogyny.
She's like, we've been here since 1619.
Yeah.
And you gonna tell when it was a real KKK, when it was real racism, she's like, basically, if you're living here now, you're a spoiled, privileged brat.
Yeah.
And
let me tell you,
that's the song they're singing.
I taught English in Southeast Asia for 6 months in one of the poorest cities and areas. Well, actually, it was one of the more wealthy cities, but it was very poor at the same time. Staggering poverty amongst even the wealthy people there. We have it good here. In the sense of, you know, like all our little complaints and everything else are minuscule to what other people are dealing with in other parts of the world. And it's true.
As a traveler, you will know that.
It's true.
And I'm not saying this to be like, oh my God, Candice is right. No. It's more like, I do feel like this. And again, a dyed-in-the-wool Dem. Y'all gotta change some shit up.
Yeah. It's true.
It's not starting to add up, and I don't want to be feeling foolish. And I feel like I'm starting to feel foolish.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and the reason I feel foolish is because
I don't like the victim narrative. No. I tell Robin this all the time.
Yeah.
And just because of my spiritual beliefs, because I come from a place of I'm a child of God first.
Ditto.
So I'm not ever gonna feel less than period because I can do whatever. I have, that's my belief, but so I don't buy into that. I don't like that. But there are a lot of things about the party, Nancy, that want you to really dive into your oppression and to really just stroke that injustice. And I am not into that.
Yeah. And this idea that you cannot, like, we have
overcome so many, like, it's just so funny to think about, I came from, my father was mass incarcerated and died on death row. There's dysfunction and sexual abuse and everything. You can overcome things. But when you keep telling people you cannot overcome things, they're not going to overcome it. Or you know what I mean? Or you're so pitiful, you need this and that. Or you won't have any power unless someone with power gives it to you.
Right.
And newsflash, people with power are not trying to give you their power.
No. And honestly,
there's
not another thing
trying
too.
To do that.
Since we going in.
You gotta empower yourself.
Yes. And that's the thing too. It's like, there's a lot of people who don't believe in taking money from the wealthy to give it to you.
No.
Because guess what? They don't really care. And they're caring about their families. What can, and just having something fair and having something, some equality where they can just work hard and give to their families. I mean, honestly, I don't have to be a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. I'll receive. But what I'm saying is...
I will receive.
I'll receive. But what I'm saying is, you know, it's just about being able to provide a path.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say, like, that's why I'm a Biden girl. I'm a Biden girl. I'm Obama. I'm a Biden too. I'm a Obama Biden girl. You know what I'm saying?
And I do like that he is scrappy and knows how to fight, and he doesn't sit there and pour me it.
No.
Because I feel like I'm scrappy and I fight. I've always fought, and I'm going to continue to for what I want in life. And I like that about him.
Yeah, I agree. And I just like, and the thing about the United States is that what has made us...
But he's also sweet and sensitive.
He is, and he's been through a lot of grief and loss, and he's been
wise.
I'll do a whole other video on Biden another day. Okay. But the thing about it, the thing that makes the United States different from a lot of places is that there has been a pathway for the middle class.
Yeah.
And the middle class has been something that has been accessible to people. So the middle class is not like, oh, it's already own, like existing thing, I guess. It's like you can come from a place of poverty or come from a place where, low income, but there were the Pell Grant was set up or, serving for your country or, having a unionized job. There were certain pathways that were set up that gave you a choice where if you wanted to, you could then elevate your family. And I know things have changed. Like, I know things have changed, and it's not the same as when, maybe my parents or grandparents were, living in our age and stuff like that. But this idea that, if we just take all this money from the wealthy, even though we could, even though it's not going to solve, it's a mentality. And what I'm trying to say is that it's culture. There are people who do not believe in that. Mm-mm. Even if you gave them money, they don't want that. Like, they want to be able to earn or to be able to have an opportunity or work hard and pay for it and provide. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want that welfare state or welfare mentality. No. And that is who Trump and Candice are tapping into. And when you look at a guy who came from a family with 8 other brothers and sisters, whose mom had 7 other babies' dads or whatever, and there were drugs involved and violence and this and that. And then he is standing there talking about, I went to the White House with presidents and I'm making money. And I'm not just because of that, but he has made his way. And that is alluring, that is empowering, and that is inspiring to some people. Not, oh my God, the system's up against you. Oh my God, you're going to be discriminated against. Oh my God, you're oppressed.
The ways in which you are oppressed.
That's not right. I'm just saying, it's not that it's not true that there are these systems and this and that, but the point is that message is not resonating with everybody. Yeah, it's not resonating, and that message is just not resonating with everyone.
And it's not true for everyone.
I wrote down paternalistic. Okay, let me get to Bishop. Bishop E.W. Jackson. Sempre Fry. Marine. Okay. Grew up in poverty. He came straight out the gate. We are Americans. This is a democracy. We are not socialists. We are not Marxist. Good luck putting Bernie up there, y'all. Good luck. Just being honest. And your boy, Killer Mike, is already talking about insinuating that people shouldn't vote in the presidential election and instead should go with the local election. So they have learned nothing from 2016. So just letting you know, a lot of work to do out there.
And who was that went after Colin?
Bishop.
It's like some biracial multi-millionaire. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Bishop talked about self-responsibility, men back in the home. Again, Marxist sociology, or socialist. USA, you can be anything.
Yeah, there was a USA.
He said, my dad had a 6th grade education. He says, please, do not leave
They're
the
all
United
about
States.
that like single-digit education now.
But it's true. American opportunity, broken families, bad schools, abortion, ghetto. Moving on. He goes on.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We have like 2 more speakers, yeah? Anyway. Maj Touré and...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It's so much to cover, you guys.
It's a lot.
But he was talking about, let's do that. He's talking about
We need a
marriage
part
is
3.
a free market system. He's talking about marriage, and then he talks about America is a free market system. Government does not order us to do anything.
All right, and on that note, we're going to take a pausito. That is...
Constitutional Law 1.
Nothing for nothing.
I went to law school, whole semester, Commerce class.
Part 3. Candace Owens.